Hello. It's I think day 145. If not, I'll correct it later. We parked on the side of the Nahmakanta Lake, which I just showed you, and it's pretty cool. So we're starting out this morning. We're gonna hike to Pollywog Creek, and it's gonna be our shortest day, a little over 8 miles. There's a mountain in the middle, and it's kind of interesting because we've been told a number of times that when we did those mountains a few days ago, that was the last of the mountains until Katahdin. But then reading our far out app, it says, nope, there's one today. Nahmakanta, I don't know. I'll have to look up how it's weird. But anyways, the comments on it are quite varied. From people going like, yeah, not a big deal, to people. There's actually one person saying it was the hardest mountain they've climbed on the AT, which is bizarro because it's not even that high. And supposedly it's just got a bunch of stone steps, which are not hard, maybe tedious, but not hard. So curious to see what that's all about. Anyways, we're climbing that mountain. Supposedly going to have great views. It's a clear day. It's cold. It's in the 50s, which for me is cold. Yeah, we woke up, I think it was in like 49 degrees or something. So, yeah, but it should be a short day, should be a good day. So yeah, to be clear, today is day 6 of our 100-mile wilderness slack pack. Again, I think I've mentioned this, but I'm a bit taken aback that we're able to slack pack this entire scary 100-mile wilderness. You know, for the last 2 years I've been planning how to do this 100-mile wilderness, you know, but yeah, we're not really doing much different. The biggest difference that we've seen, which falls under the category of first world problems, is we don't have internet for most of it. We don't have cell signal for most of it. And we're sleeping in the van, which is not a big deal. Worked out pretty well. And you look at the positive, Vanish is cooking our dinners and breakfasts, and we're sleeping in the van, so our financial burn rate is significantly less. Now, is it easy to work? I worked there yesterday. I'll work there today. Man, not as easy, but it's doable, other than the internet thing. So there are a few things I need internet for to work, and I can't do them until we get internet. So it is cool how the trail basically hugs the lake coast, and here we're actually walking on the beach, which has no people on it. Yay. I'm enjoying the sound of the waves lapping ashore. It's cool. Kind of miss that, growing up on the beach and not living on the beach anymore. All right, I'm going to try to pronounce the mountain we're climbing up. Nahmakanta. Nahmakanta. It's a little over 1,100 feet up. So not small. You know, that's significant. They're not huge. So it's going to be a pretty short video day. Probably have a nice viewpoint. I want to see how that mountain works out. Is it that hard, or is it kind of easy and people just complain? I don't know. So in referencing, one thing I think about a lot, there's a lot to think about while you're walking the trail, is like, what are your goals, you know? And everybody hikes this for different reasons. Some people running away from something, I guess. Some people are trying to fix things. Some people are just trying to prove they can do it. Some people just out of a sense of adventure, you know. It's just not a negative thing, but a positive thing. Anyways, there's a lot of different... I'm getting bombarded with acorns by the squirrels above. There's a lot of different smaller reasons I'm doing this. A couple of more bigger reasons. I don't know where this one falls in the category, but one of the reasons, one of my goals on doing this is to, I want family members to go and think, my God, that dude did that. Awesome. You know, basically to have them think that was a good accomplishment, something cool that he did, especially if after I'm gone, right? And yeah, and the different family members, I see that in different ways. So like, you know, there's the family members I live with right now, and I don't need to prove anything to them. I don't think they rightly or wrongly, and probably at times wrongly, think I'm awesome. Pretty sure. But I don't feel like that's true with the rest of my family. And you know, I don't speak to them very often. I'm just not one to... I don't use the phone. Referencing my autism, I don't call people. I don't do drive-thrus either, by the way. Refuse. I hate them. Anyways, I digress. So I just want to focus. Maybe at other points I'll focus on other people, but I want to focus on the one person I'm trying to impress. It's my brother. So all my life I've kind of lived in the shadow of my brother. You know, growing up in school, he was well known as the smartest kid in the city, basically. So I had big shoes to fill, following him 2 grades beyond, or I don't remember, I don't remember. Anyways, may have been just 1 grade behind him. I'm at most times 2 years younger. He's 68 right now. He's super creative, very talented in almost anything he does, and he's super smart. I think he's like 165 IQ, and yeah, so pretty amazing. He showed me, introduced me to a lot of music early on that, you know, people my age were not really listening to. We were listening to the top 40. And he started showing me things like Lou Reed and New York City Dolls, these kind of more indie bands. Anyways, he became a musician, a guitarist, became part of a band, had some success. Life took a turn for him that was not great. He was doing, I think he was like one of the chief engineering guys at Lawrence and Livermore. He ended up going to Diego Garcia and doing engineering as a contractor, civilian contractor for the military. Met his present wife and got into running. So now they're ultra runners. And man, they do like awesome stuff. They travel around the world. He does the Boston Marathon, you know, and that's just what they do. And I think compared now in that regard, I've been a couch potato. I just work in my office all day long, barely move. I mean, I used to do sports, but you know, even I quit doing that. So me doing the Appalachian Trail, I hope he goes, holy crap, Chase did that. So it's a silly thing, but I just want my that one thing for my brother to look up to me for. Well, that's it. That's the story of my brother. And of course I should mention that you know, I'll probably talk about some other family members, but not today, because you don't want a whole video of me rambling about family members. But man, I would have loved for my mom to be alive. No, she'd be worried. That's how she is. I think she once saw a news report that some prisoner in Tennessee had escaped, and she called me to make sure my doors were locked. That's moms. Anyways, I know she would be worried, but I think she'd be proud too. I would have loved to have been able to send her pictures of where we were going and what we were doing. As it is, I'm carrying her ashes, and I know she's with me. All right, well, this is really the start of the climb up to the mountaintop. It's 0.8 miles and 700 feet. So I don't think it's that steep. Of course, that can change. You can level out and then get really steep. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Well, we've reached our first kind of more major rock scramble, but really nothing that we haven't seen before. Pretty common on many of these trails going up mountains. So yeah, cool. Halfway up Nahmakanta Mountain. 470 feet to climb, half a mile. So, I mean, this section's easy. We'll see how it goes. So I'm hiking with these brand new shoes today for the first time. And part of me wants to keep them looking like this, nice and clean and out of the mud, etc. But there's also part of me that needs to get them dirty. I'll explain. So when you get to Baxter, there's a ranger there named Ranger Don, and his job is to allocate the 12 camping spots at Birches, which we want to get into, and he only gives them to thru hikers. So what's the definition of a thru hiker? Well, they have some rules, but they try to sense people who aren't thru hikers and turns. I'm not just yeah. He wants to rule them out. So that's what they do. They look at people and go like, "You're not really a thru hiker, no." And apparently you're just kind of asked out at that point. So if you go off trail anywhere along the 100-mile wilderness or prior to getting into Baxter, you don't meet the definition that they have of thru hiker, and you will not get one of the free reserved 12 spots. So we don't want to look like someone who just walked in brand new shoes and brand new clothes and make him think that we're not thru hikers. I mean, we're not leaving the trail. The whole idea of being a supported thru hiker is a gray area. We'd rather not have to get into that, so if we can. We're very close to the summit, less than 1/10 of a mile. You got more rock stairs. Okay. Yeah. All right. We have reached the summit of Nahmakanta Mountain. And yeah, I can tell you the myth that this is extremely hard or somehow really difficult, busted. I mean, it's a thing, so I'm not going to discount that. And I wonder if it's just expectations, because we've been told so many times that, you know, after we did the Whitecaps, it's smooth sailing. There's no more mountains until Katahdin. It's all level. It's really easy. You're cruising, and yet you hit this. And this is not cruising. It is not level. You are walking up a mountain. And if you knew it was coming, I think you would just go like, okay, that's part of what we're doing. But if you thought it wasn't here, and then you found it was here, maybe that's what people are reacting to. That's just my theory. I don't know why people are getting weird about how hard it was, because it really wasn't unusually hard. And that's saying a lot coming from me. So, all right, the view from the top of Nahmakanta bump, whatever it is. And that's Katahdin. As I mentioned, today is a pretty short day. So we're got about a little under 3.5 miles to go. And we'll be finishing the day before 1 p.m., which is pretty early. But that'll allow me time to break out the laptop and get some stuff done, which I'm looking forward to. Not because I want to do it because it's fun or whatever, just because it's more I can get done now, the less I have to do later. Got to finish up an engineering project that's going to take a good amount of time. And I'm hoping that after we summit Katahdin, we'll have a 0 the next day. I can get most of it done that day, if not a little bit the next following day while we travel. So, anyways, and videos. Gotta edit videos. So far behind. I feel bad. I suck as a YouTuber, sorry. I mean, if I was on top of things and I had the time, I should have made a bunch of videos that could be uploaded. You pre-upload them and then schedule them on YouTube to be broadcast or shown. And I did that at the beginning. I had like 7 or 8 videos in the queue, and yeah, towards this end, I was scrambling to do a video and then release it right away for that day, because that's all the time I had. So by the time I hit the 100-mile wilderness, yeah, there was no videos in the queue. So there's been no videos for the last week, and I'm falling farther behind. So yeah, we'll have to get caught up somehow. I hope. I don't want the videos to be such a drain on my hike that I regret doing a YouTube thing. And they're not, but I just don't want them to become that way. I've always been pretty quick to point out when things are pretty miserable, trails sketchy, weather's bad, etc. So let me point out, it's freaking awesome. Weather's been great, trail's been great, I feel good, legs feel good. Yeah, it's been a good day of hiking. Also happy that it's a short day. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I could do 20 miles of this pretty easy. And tomorrow we're almost going to. It's going to be almost 18, perhaps even more. We'll see. Miles of the remaining 100-mile wilderness. But it should be pretty easy. Looking forward to it. Can't believe I only got one more day of this 100-mile. And then we're in Baxter. And I think I keep saying that. It's just, it feels surreal. And again, it must feel super surreal to those who are finishing, right? The last 100 miles of this, last day of this, and then one more day in Baxter, then a hike up to Katahdin, and their entire hike is done. Yeah, not for us, but it still feels epic. All right, we're walking to the Pollywog Gorge Rim Viewpoint. They say it's only 100 feet off the trail. So, you know, is it worth it? We'll see. They also note that it's a long drop to the bottom, so be careful when you get close to the edge, which I fully intend to. Be careful, that is. Holy moly. Yeah, that's a little scary. If you slipped on that gravel there, you would be goner. Woo! And you can barely even see the bottom, wherever that is. That's cool. Pretty cool canyon.
I did the logs. Just take it slow and
How slow?
you did it a lot faster than me.
That's slow enough?
There you go.